Our seventh challenge. Get your pens ready, get your notebooks up, get your notes ready, get your listening prepared, and your questions prepared in your mind. Let me introduce to you Mr. Christos Chrysiliou. Is the Director of Architecture and Engineering Services for the Facilities Services Division of the Los Angeles Unified School District, our wonderful LAUSD. Mr. Chrysiliou earned a bachelor's degree in architecture from Woodbury University and an associate arts degree in interior design from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. He is a licensed architect, a certified construction manager, and acronyms LEED, AP, BD plus C. Ball. He'll explain all that to you. With experiences in architectural planning, design, sustainability, and construction. Though his primary focus on K-12 facilities, Mr. Chrysiliou has gathered knowledge and experience in all aspects of planning, design, and construction, and has expanded his knowledge by managing construction projects and focusing his efforts in means, methods, and materials for construction. I happen to know him, a good friend. Put your hands together and welcome Mr. Chrysiliou. It's Christos Chrysiliou. Okay.
Dr. Parkes, thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see you as well. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Are you ready for the next challenge? Yes. Are you ready for the next challenge? Yes. All right. I know ice cream is coming up, so I should have everyone's attention, right? So you heard a lot of the acronyms here, and what does all that mean? So a few things about what we do within facilities. My name is Christos Chrysiliou. I'm the Director of Architectural Engineering Services. Within facilities, we have three distinct units that I manage myself. We have the Architectural Engineering, we have the Sustainability Initiatives Unit, and we have the Energy Management Unit. That gives me a lot of pleasure to be able to manage a lot of professionals with a lot of qualifications, but to help manage how we move forward as a district in terms of creating more sustainable projects. Today with us, we also have our Senior Sustainability Specialist, Jan Ducker. She's on the back. Say hi to her. She's actually took the day off to come here. I know she has a lot of things to do, but it's good to have her here. So a few things about sustainability initiatives. I'm going to focus on that itself. So our mission is to develop programs that reduce the district's impact on the environment. You probably see a lot of these projects and programs throughout your schools. Just to give you some examples, you see lighting retrofits, you see solar installations. All those are programs that we have, and a lot more that we try to reduce that impact. We try to lower our utility costs throughout, and we try to foster environmental stewardship among our students and staff. Jan Ducker, actually, she's responsible for the outreach program, and she's coming up with a lot of program, working with our Office of Curriculum to be able to bring those programs to you so you can be able to be better stewardships of the environment. The outcome, the good thing about all this, we save general fund dollars. That gives us more opportunities to create more programs for all of us. So some of the areas that we're focused within sustainability is our energy conservation program. The energy conservation program, we're trying to find ways of how we can reduce consumption. To mention about the solar program itself. Solar program is an initiative that we started about 3-4 years ago. And out of that program, we're able to create about 21 megawatts of power. That gives us, out of that 21 megawatts, just to give you an idea what that means, we can generate about, we can be able to light up about 7,000 classrooms. That's a lot of power we can generate out of that program. We have a lot of other programs as well. I mentioned about the lighting retrofit, being able to replace light fixtures with more energy efficient fixtures. That helps us reduce energy consumption. Our water stewardship program. You probably, I'm sure you use it facilities here, and you can see a lot of low flow fixtures. You see water urinals, or you can see toilets that use low flush toilets. Those save us water. Our waste reduction program, we're working with the Office of Environmental Health and Safety. And what it helps us do is to be able to have more programs to reduce waste and limit be able to have more recycling throughout. We also do a lot of campus greening programs. You're going to see a lot of greening throughout your campuses. So we're trying to use drought-tolerant plants, and we're trying to reduce water consumption throughout. Also try to capture water through our sites, infiltrate, and put it down within the earth, within our area. So be able to have more water to use when we have more severe drought conditions. As you know, we're going right now through a drought conditions. So one of our challenges is to capture water and just store it for ourselves so we can be able to use it in the future. But what all those things have in common? All those things have one thing in common. All those things help us reduce greenhouse gas. And that is very important to us. I'm going to be showing you a short video that's going to give you a better idea about climate change and greenhouse gas. That video is going to give you the basis of what that is. So let's go to the...
Climate change has been in the news for years. But what is it, and how will it affect us? To understand climate change, you first need to know about the greenhouse effect. The Earth gets heat from the sun. In the atmosphere, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide trap this heat and keep it from escaping back to outer space. Trapping some heat in the atmosphere is a good thing because it keeps the planet warm enough for us to live. But there's a problem. People all over the world are adding extra carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. That's because today we burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas to do many of our everyday activities, like driving our cars, using our computers, and heating our homes. All of this extra carbon dioxide is trapping more heat in the atmosphere, making the Earth warmer and causing other climate changes too. The signs of climate change are all around us. Temperatures are getting warmer, giant ice sheets are melting, and the oceans are rising. In many places, flowers are blooming earlier, snow is melting sooner, and birds aren't flying as far south for the winter. So why does this matter? Well, if the planet keeps getting warmer, we can expect more powerful storms and more flooding, droughts, and heat waves. And these changes could cause additional problems, like the spread of certain diseases, more wildfires, and food and water shortages. Climate change could put entire ecosystems, like coral reefs, in danger, and many plants and animals could become extinct. The good news is that we can take action. We can put less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere if we generate electricity from clean sources, like solar and wind power, instead of burning coal, oil, or gas. We can also drive less, use public transportation, and choose cars that go further using less gas. And you can do your part. Reduce your energy use by turning off the lights, the computer, and the TV when you're not using them, and walk or ride your bike to work or school. By making smart choices and working together, we can make a difference. Check out the rest of this website to learn more about the causes and effects of climate change, as well as the practical solutions that can help protect our planet's future.
Very interesting video, and it's real. So what is carbon footprint? So we can explain carbon footprint as the level of greenhouse gas emissions produced by the things that we do. These are the things that we do on an everyday basis. The things that we eat, the food that we eat, the waste that we throw away. So pretty much on an everyday basis, everything that we do really contributes to what we call the carbon footprint. And just to put that in perspective, cheeseburgers. How many like cheeseburgers? Everybody does, right? Somehow, I'm sure you guys have a few a week. So let me ask you about this, just to put this in perspective. You know, if you look at what it takes to really create a cheeseburger, what it has to go through. That gives you a little perspective about what that it takes when we look at that. The water that it takes, the land that it takes, the transportation that it takes, and energy to produce it. Actually, if you look at it, it's the same as utilizing about or consuming a gallon of gasoline, which gives you about 20 to 25 miles. A cheeseburger itself produces about 20 pounds of greenhouse gas. Just an idea of our food source that we have. Now, what does that mean? Eating cheeseburgers is fine. The waste that we produce out of it, in general, all the waste that we produce as humans in general. What we're finding out is that just alone in the U.S., we produce about 40% of waste. So there's a lot of items that go into our waste stream. So that adds to our carbon footprint itself. So wasting food also means that we're wasting precious resources as well. Just to give you another perspective about how much we waste, we can feed about 2 billion people in the U.S. alone per year for the food that we waste. Just to put that in another perspective is that the waste that we have, it's about consuming an additional 200 million barrels of oil per year. It also, it adds about a quarter of our water that we use. This is the annual greenhouse gas per person that we use per year. If you look at on the side in the U.S., we pretty much create about 5 times more than the rest of the world. So we, in metric tons of greenhouse gas per person in the U.S., we have contribute about 20. For the rest of the world, it's about 4. So you can. The reason why I've talked about waste earlier, you can see how much we're wasting out of our precious resources that we have. Another perspective, when you look at this beautiful picture of our beautiful forest, we're actually, what we do, we cut a lot of our forests down because of different uses, because of development as we move forward to create more things that we need, housing or any other needs that we have. But what trees do for us, they actually remove the carbon dioxide and they convert that into carbohydrates as food through a photosynthesis process that they go through. And at the same time, we kind of find ourselves that we remove this, so impacting our environment even more. How many of you eat about, and I'm going to go back to the cheeseburger scenario again, how many of you eat about 3 cheeseburgers a week? Anybody? 2, 3? Nobody? Okay. So if we were to take about the scenario of cheeseburgers, if you eat about 150 cheeseburgers approximately a year, that's the equivalent of what it takes 1 acre of forest to be able to clean those emissions that they produce by those burgers. Just to give you an idea how much it takes to be able to remove that gas from the air. I have another interesting slide that I thought it was quite interesting that I wanted to share with you. This is the history of life on Earth. And what this one shows that pretty much when you see this kind of metric, you see about the Earth is about 4.6 billion years old. So through that time, the mammals have been pretty much on Earth for about 100 million years. Modern humans, we can go back about 200,000 years. But if you take that into a scale, and you look at how long we have been on this planet, if you take that in 1 year scale, we have been on this planet for only 14 seconds. Merely 14 seconds. When you look at your watch, 14 seconds, that's how many years we've been on this planet. And the reason why I wanted to share this slide with you is for this next one. So when you look at the and this is the carbon dioxide parts per million on the planet itself. And we can go back about 400,000 years, and you can look at the scale, and it shows how much carbon dioxide was on the planet itself. It ranges between 250, 300 to 180, right, throughout time. Well, for the last 60 years, we can see that the actual carbon dioxide is over 400 parts per million. That's a huge increase, and that is because of industrialization. It's because of the needs of what I was just referring to earlier. Is we as humans, what the pressure we're putting on this planet. So this begs the question to always think, when we look at things, we go through what we call a life cycle analysis. We look at things in terms of what is it made from, who makes it, how is it made, where is it made, how is it packaged, how much waste or pollution is generated. So all those things are things we should be thinking about in terms of when we look at our resources and what we use. So we have a choice, and the choices we make today will certainly affect our future. So, are you ready for the challenge now? All right. So I challenge you to raise awareness about the causes of climate change and the impact of greenhouse gas on our environment, and to work with your community to identify ways you can come together to reduce your carbon footprint. Find this an exciting challenge? Great. So I'm going to turn it to any questions you may have. I'll spend some more time on the front, so hopefully answer a lot of your questions. But I'm here to answer if you have any. Anybody wants to ask a question? Can we get a microphone here?
Where? Sorry, excuse me. You want next?
Yeah, we just implemented the breakfast in the classroom, I know, for our high school this year, and there's a lot of waste of the food. Not that the students aren't eating, because a lot of them are now, but still there's a lot of waste. So is your department involved in trying to reduce that amount? Because from what you're saying, it sounds like it's impacting the climate.
Yeah, waste is a big part of it. It's my department. What we try to do is bring awareness and pretty much educate in terms of what we should be doing and what we should be more conscious about. I know the program provides nutrition for students, and we have choices to make. So it goes back to the students to either consume the food, or if you don't want the food, make sure you don't participate to a program like that. So you have to make sure that you make your own choices. And it goes back to what choices we made on our everyday lives. So it's a very good question. And I see waste everywhere. I mean, we have waste just, lunch after lunch, meal after meal. But if we do our part, if we do a little bit every time, it adds up and it helps. The health and safety also, helps out with recycling programs. They have a lot of programs throughout the district that they help out to recycle a lot of those items, so not everything goes to a waste dump, so thanks.
Hello?
Any other question?
Right here.
There you go, thanks.
I know that a problem we face with different energy sources is intermittency for both solar and wind. Is there like ongoing technologies we can use, or us as just community members, to address this problem to the community?
Yeah, that's actually, that's a great question. And we at the district, I'm going to go back a little bit. We at the district, we have, through sustainability, we pilot a lot of different programs. Part of our area is research and analysis. So we try to always to find out what's the latest technology. But before we apply any technologies, we have to test it to make sure that it meets our standards, requirements, all the health requirements that we have. So yes, there's always something new. In terms of solar, you see our solar installations throughout. Wind, we tested that as well. There's a lot of different types of technologies. Lighting. There's lighting that obviously the new LED technology that be able to reduces a lot of power consumption. Right. So there's so many out there, and it's good to look into and find out for yourselves. Not just what we do as well, but what are you finding out through your research as well in terms of technologies? Because you can apply that, it can really reduce energy consumption, which that's one of the basic factors of adding greenhouse gas emissions through our atmosphere. Thanks. Thank you. There's a question?
Hello. I'm Annalisa from Westchester High School. You were talking earlier about your division.
Yes.
Doing recycling at schools. Our school has recycling bins, and I'm pretty sure most schools do, but I've personally heard students say, oh, I'll just go to whatever's closer, or whenever the trash can's full, I'll use the recycling. It's not like something, they don't see it as too exclusive waste disposal things. So do you think that recycling bins at schools and stuff are really the best option to get people to start reducing their waste?
It is a great option, and if there's any other means that you can find out, you can communicate, that you can be able to recycle, obviously it helps. So we have those recycling programs, and we try to apply them throughout. But again, through education, awareness, you're able to do the right thing so you can be able to recycle properly. So, thanks. I know there's a few questions in the back.
So I was wondering, since there is a lot of trash in the world, and I saw in your presentation there were landfills, and it's just like endless piles and piles of trash. I was wondering, is there really any safe way of getting rid of trash? Because I know a lot of places in the world burn it, and that only makes more pollution, and that's not really, that doesn't qualify as a safe way of getting rid of trash. So I was wondering if there is a method that people utilize to dispose of waste safely and responsibly for our atmosphere, so we would stop burning trash and start reversing the negative effects of what we do to our planet.
Yeah, that's a great comment, and I'll take it more as a comment than a question, because it's something that we have to do more research and find out. When you see a movie like Back to the Future, and you see they put like all these recyclable stuff, and the next thing you know, it can provide energy. So I'm sure there's always going to be new technologies and things that we can do, but that requires more research. We're not at the district looking at that in terms of there's something that we can be doing to kind of advance that. But that's an area I think that would be very interesting to explore and find out. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea over here.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of like factories, if we were to bring awareness to the people, what can they do to like lessen the factory use?
I'm sorry, in terms of, say that again?
Factories?
Factories?
Yeah.
Well, there's requirements. So we have different agencies like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. There's agencies, there's a lot of requirements that those factories have to go through to kind of reduce consumption and to make sure that at least they monitor regularly. There's a lot of different processes that are applied to us right now, even within facilities. So they have to meet those requirements and standards. So that's how they're managed and controlled now. Even for us, when we do to plan and design buildings, we have to go through the Office of Environmental Health and Safety, which we have at the facilities as well. And we go through a process, analysis. Even for projects, we do a CEQA analysis to be able to analyze our projects to make sure that at least from our part, we do our due diligence in terms of the environment. And there's different areas that we go through analysis to prove or to minimize impact on the environment on our projects. So there's those regulatory agencies that they do that. Thanks. Question?
I think it's my turn, yeah. I have a question. There's a lot of biodegradable alternatives out there, and I know, like, at least for school lunches, my kids, they always get these sporks. They could be getting the corn-made utensils. I'm just wondering if the district is in the works on doing that, because the whole city of Santa Monica is already doing that. I'm wondering why we're not doing that.
That's something great to look into. I'll bring it up to our facilities in terms of the health and safety. That's something that perhaps another department should be looking at to see if we can do that. But that's a great comment. Thanks. And those are great suggestions to have. So, we pose a challenge, think through it, and come up with creative ways. So I'm sure you're going to come up with a lot of creative ways of how you can solve some of these issues that we're dealing now. Next.
I have a question. Some places don't have the power to buy
I'm sorry?
They don't have some places they don't have a power to buy this technology like solar systems. So they don't have how could they prevent burning like trashes and some things like that?
So.
Yeah, such as my own country, they burn woods and like that, so they don't have the power to buy the solar system and cook like that.
So a lot of the, in terms of solar, that's a good comment. A lot of the comments is, a lot of the companies right now that they do provide solar, they go through different type of power agreements. And what they do sometimes, they will once you have those discussions, it's actually through a use of agreement that you don't really pay that much upfront. What they do is it's a way of how you pay your utility bill through them, and they provide you the solar. So you don't really, it's not something you have to pay upfront to have it. So there's different types of agreements that they kind of work with individuals to be able to provide that solar technology on a specific site. We at the district, we do a business a little differently because we own the sites and we want to own the panels that we have, the solar power that we have. But for different type of uses, there's different type of agreements that you can apply on.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Question. Let's say that one solution for this challenge involves utilizing eco-friendly vehicles where gas is not needed, but instead electricity is. There would have to be a reduction of gas stations and an increase in electricity stations. Would the electricity stations end up harming the environment, as well as computers were mentioned in the video, which involve electricity?
So yeah, just to touch on that, our unit as well, something that we just did about a few weeks ago, and you probably can see it on our website, is that we have an electric vehicle charging policy. So what we came up with, how you can charge electric cars through our sites. So we try to explore and see what the new technologies are out there, and we try to take those kind of technologies and apply them here as well. So in terms of having a place where you can charge cars, yeah, we promote that, and we just started this right now at the district as well. So what was trying to find alternate ways like this. Did that answer your question, or?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, unfortunately, Unfortunately, how about a big hand for Mr. Christos Chrysiliou, please?
Thank you much. Thank you.